We had a mouse in our house last week. I posted about it. I think I did TikTok about it. And I never really had a mouse before. I have cats, and I'm not a killer. I didn't want to like trap it and stuff like that. And I thought, like, well, I'll let my cats take care of it. But I wasn't really emotionally prepared for what that meant. I didn't really think it through. So I was in a meeting. I was in a Zoom meeting. Heard the cats doing something in the other room. After my meeting, I walked back there. And my son has a habit of putting his Nike Jordans in my bedroom. And I looked down, and at first I thought it was a toy mouse. And I was going to pick it up, and then I was like, oh my gosh, that's Mickey. I had named him Mickey, Michael Mouse. And he had little teeth marks, like, and I was kind of traumatized. I didn't realize it was going to be that brutal. I didn't think that my cats would actually do it, because the mouse was living there for a week. And I was just like, I wore gloves one time just trying to scoop it up, and that thing, he jumped on my hand and crawled up my arm. That thing had the will to live. And anyway, so he became kind of a fixture. I know that mice are not a great thing to have in your house. They bite through your wires. They can cause fires. They have all kinds of diseases and stuff, but I'm a big empath, and whenever anything, like, my gosh, a possum died in the trash can one time. I have services for these animals. It makes me feel better, just to pay them last respect. So, I decided I was going to have a funeral service for Mickey. There's a creek by our house, so what I did was I got one of my son's knife boxes, the little teeny tiny knife boxes, and I stuck the mouse in there, and then I put a little fake flower on top, and then I took clear tape, wrapped it up. I thought, like a Viking send-off without the fire. Okay, we're going to put him in the creek, and then in my mind, I visualized that he would float down the creek and go into the Great Canal River, floating down the UKV and all kinds of stuff. I didn't want to think about whatever happened after that, if it hit a boat or something. I don't know. But I thought that would be a nice little send-off. So my son, he's used to mom shenanigans, and I'm used to his shenanigans too. But anyway, so, when I told him that, we're going to have mouse funeral, he's like, all right, Mom. So, my 15-year-old goes outside with me. And, anyway, so, we take the mouse, and, like, there's this, I live by the creek. There's, like, a hill that you go down. There's the creek and stuff like that. So, I asked my son to say a few words, and he did. He said that, he only saw Mickey once, and he hoped he didn't have any family. And I was like, okay, well, that's fair enough. And I did this big flowery speech. I'm talking about how, I hope that mice envision mouse heaven, he's dancing and prancing in a field of flowers and munching all the cheese that his heart, desires and stuff like that. And, then, I don't really have a lot of upper arm strength. I'm not in denial. I don't think I'm stronger than I really am. I can kick the heck out of you. I can't throw. So I told my son, I said, honey, would you do the honors of, thrusting or, scooching Mickey into the creek. I said, don't, just make sure he gets into the water and it ain't too messy. I don't want his little body just bouncing around the box or anything. And, so my son says he will. Well, anyway, I always sing at these little animal services, so I was singing Amazing Grace, which I was really impressed. I actually remembered all the words, because I hadn't seen that thing since I was in church. I think when I was a little girl with my mama. And, anyway, so when I get to was blind, but now I see, my son, he just chucks that thing like a daggone football. He's like, phew. And, Mickey goes flying through the air. He bypasses the creek. He's on the other side of the hill. And, I stood there for a moment, like, what? You know, what am I supposed to do now? I can't run down this hill, run into the creek, swim to the other side, and, you know, there's all kinds of weeds and stuff like that. You know, I'm trying to think of my feet. I was like, I don't know what to do. I just kept on singing, you know, and my son, he tapped me on the shoulder. He's like, Mom, I really didn't think that I threw it that hard, and I didn't know that it was going to fly like that. And I was like, it's okay, honey. It's okay. I understand. You tried. And he's like, maybe it will rain. And anyway, I mean, we're praying for rain. That way, Mickey's little sarcophagus can go back into the creek. Yeah, right now, I guess he's kind of like in a Cannelton Holler mouse purgatory in his little coffin ship. But anyway, that's my mouse story. The cat's got it. We had a service. Now he's stuck on the other side of the hill. Rest in peace, Mickey.